Good morning. This is John Schneibly with Insurance Agency Marketing. Wanted to thank everyone for taking time out of your busy day today. And we are lucky enough this morning to have Jared Anderson, who's the Vice President of Sales with the Market Synergy Group, part of the team that created this fantastic product. What we're going to go ahead and cover today is the AIG Power Select Plus Income Indexed Annuity, and really, more importantly, really focusing on this exciting new rider called the Lifetime Income Plus Multiplier. And just want to make sure, Jared, can you hear me?
I can hear you, John.
All right, great. We'll try to get a few of the house items here out of the way. I know some of you are listening on a listening only and cannot see the screen, but so go ahead and jot down the number. Our number is 800-255-5055. After this webinar is over, if you have any questions or need some additional information, please feel free to give me a call. And there is a question box to the right of your screen there. So we will definitely answer any questions that you might have during this webinar. We'll try to answer as quickly as we can. I will launch a couple polls during this broadcast as well. Well, first of all, let me go into the little bit about IAMS and what we do, insurance agency marketing here, real quick. Our creative services is definitely one of our unique ways that we can help grow your business. Business cards, logos, help with your website, CRM. We even can do we've got some proprietary ability to go ahead and do newsletters. If you wanted to do a mailing, you're looking at about a $1 a piece cost to you to do a fully mailed newsletter for you. Really great service, advanced marketing. We can even do radio and TV ad. We definitely recommend that you kind of take a look at our team. Matt Neal runs this, but if you need any help on that, we've got a great team that can help increase your business on the marketing. And then almost forgot about the social networking. They've got a service that will allow you to actually post on your Facebook. It looks like it's coming from outside entities. It's really a neat little service too that they can really kind of create some excitement on your Facebook site as well. For all of you that are new to insurance agency marketing, we've got a nice new producer bonus program. We've got great trips, but we also have a couple different levels here for anyone that writes business with us. This all pertains to any business that you've done in the first 6 months. Basically, on the first $100,000 level, you have the choice of those three little prizes there: $750 cash bonus, or you could have a 2-year subscription to website and newsletter service, or you could even have an iPad, which is really a nice little gift, especially with everything online now. If you hit the 300,000 level, you're looking at a full Social Security program and 3,000 piece postcard mailing. That basically gets you into the seminar business just with that alone. And then we've got the $500,000 level as well. A lot of nice little perks here at Insurance Agency Marketing. We also have a Life and Annuity Academy. We do have one coming up in February on the 10th through the 12th. We're really excited about this. We go through a whole 2-day training. We'll fly you in on Wednesday night. This is an all expenses paid trip. You'll come in on Wednesday night. We'll take you to dinner. You have a full day of training. 90% of this will be sales and marketing. We really don't get into too much product specific items, but it's a really great really kickstart your 2016. We'll go over different software that can enhance your business, sales ideas, referral, how to create a referral network, but we're really excited about that. So if you have an interest, please give us a call at 800-255-5055 as well. We also have a great referral program and a marketing reimbursement. For every 100,000, we will have a $200 reimbursement for marketing. So every dollar that you will spend on marketing, you just will match it up to the first $200 on every $100,000 that you produce. The referral producer program, $50 when your referral contracts, and then $100 when your referral does business with us as well. And then we'll actually have a trail commission paid to you as well for that new producer that you refer to us as well. So it's a nice little trail commission capability that you have. As I mentioned, we do have a lot of contests as well for producers. This is our big, huge event, probably one of our biggest events. That will be in the Victoria, British Columbia. Beautiful area there. Very much like San Diego, but it's a little bit more on the ritzy side. But this one it's an 18-month contest that's coming to an end on June 30th, 2016. It has a $2 million annuity premium level there that you have to reach, but it does actually contain other business as well with the single premium life. It's $1.5 million, $175,000 life target premium, $1 million Medicare supplement premium, and $400,000 long-term care premium as well. But right now, I think that concludes my portion of it. I know everyone's excited to learn about this new product, and I'm going to go ahead and let Jared take over and do his little spiel.
Sounds great. Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Let me make sure that we got everything set up here, and let me know when you can see my screen, and we'll get started.
I can see it.
Perfect. Okay, as John mentioned, my name is Jared Anderson with Market Synergy Group. Thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedules. We got some pretty unique and exciting stuff to talk to you here about, as John had alluded to. I work with Market Synergy Group, and we helped develop and design the products with AIG American General. And as John had mentioned before, we're going to put a lot of focus on our new Power Select Plus Income with Lifetime Income Plus Multiplier. Before we do that, though, we want to make sure that you're all fully aware of the entire suite of products that we offer here through Market Synergy Group. As you can see on the screen, ultimately, an area in which we knew we needed to cover for the fixed index annuity space was guaranteed income, performance-based income, and accumulation. And with this new addition of our income rider, we're excited to talk about the fact that we do cover all three of those. Now, the Power Select Plus Income has offers and the ability to elect either guaranteed income, which we'll talk about briefly, or the performance-based and the Lifetime Income Plus Multiplier. Now, the Power Select Builder is a product that was designed for accumulation purposes, so no income rider, just a great 10-year product with 10-year surrenders on it, perfect for accumulation for those situations in which they're looking to protect their assets, not looking for an income rider, not wanting to pay an income rider fee. So we do have an entire suite of products, and I suggest that you call or contact somebody at the Insurance Agency Marketing Services office to get some more information on these specific products. Okay, so just some statistics that I'll share with you and why we do what we do. I think a lot of you on the call are all familiar with this, but 10,000 baby boomers are turning 65 every single day. A retirement for a 65-year-old couple could last as much as 30 years. So there's a huge need for guaranteed income. There's a huge need for any type of an income, and we feel like at Market Synergy Group, we've provided and developed the products for you to put into your practice to help your clients reach those goals that they're trying to get. Again, some statistics there: 50% chance that one will live beyond age 92 and 25% that one lives past age 97. So it's crazy to think about that. As I mentioned, two different product lines. We'll spend more time talking specifically about the Power Select Plus Income. Ultimately, for you to completely understand this product, you do need to call someone at IMES, get an illustration, call them with the specific case you're working on, and see how competitive this product actually is. So first, let's briefly talk about, let's get past this one, John. What we first want to do is talk briefly about the product and some of the basic product features. Anything over $100,000 will receive a 5% premium bonus. Anything under $100,000 receives 2. That's important to note. Part of the industry, it's the way products are designed, so we're certainly competitive from that standpoint as well. What I do want to talk to you about is all 3 of our products, or I should say 2 of our products, have 6 different crediting strategies on the S&P 500, as well as 2 different strategies on the Merrill Lynch Strategic Balance Index, and we'll talk briefly about that here in a moment as well. Just to show you some statistics, the S&P 500 over the last 20 years has delivered strong returns. Obviously, the protection and the downside risk and the zero is our hero, so to speak, in our industry has helped us maintain and kind of glide along with that, if you will, but a 10% average return over the 20 years. That ML Strategic Balance Index I was referring to earlier has shown an 8% average return over the last 20 years. Again, that's something that I think is important that each of you on the line need to reach out, talk to somebody at IMS, and learn a little bit more about this very unique volatility-controlled strategy that has S&P 500 components as well as Treasury futures. It's a very simple story to tell. Our industry has gone towards volatility-controlled indexes, and we feel like we have one of the best ones out there. So again, talk to them a little bit about that. I think it's important that you learn more on that as well. So just to show you a couple examples, one of the things that we did on December 9th when we launched our new income rider, we also added an annual point-to-point with a 35% participation rate on the S&P. This is just a simple slide to show you what that can do, what the capabilities are with the 35% participation. And John, I know we sent you some information on that as well that hopefully you can get out to the agents to help them understand how powerful a 35% participation rate is with the power of zero. So when we take into considerations all the zeros that we get when the S&P 500 is down, we're really capturing a pretty big portion of the S&P 500. In addition to that, talk to you briefly about the Merrill or the ML Strategic Balance Index. This is again just an example showing no cap strategy, and it talks a little bit about the 1-year strategy. We do have 2 different options there, an annual reset as well as a 2-year reset. Again, here's just an example showing some of those returns going back to 2004. As you can see, there's a year popped in there. And again, these are hypothetical numbers based on the illustration software system that you will all have access to once you contract with IMS for this new proprietary product line. Go through these briefly. Again, we do have a 2-year reset, which tends to be a little bit more popular. The spread's a little bit lower. The spread is the only component on this specific income or this specific crediting strategy that is applied. So due to the fact that it's a 2-year reset, option budgets are a little bit cheaper for the insurance carrier, affording them a little bit lower spread, and tends to be a pretty popular strategy when we're speaking of volatility-controlled indexes. You know, the design is to be consistent throughout the term of the contract. Therefore, a 2-year strategy doesn't seem to cause any issues or cause any hesitation from the agents and certainly the clients alike. So we just show a couple examples for that as well. As I mentioned to you guys earlier, our Power Select Plus Income has 2 different income rider options, and we're going to talk about both of them briefly. But ultimately, as I've mentioned and we'll mention a few more times, we want you guys to call into IMS, take a look at a specific case that you're working on and see how it can potentially apply to your business. Now, the Lifetime Income Plus is the original product and the original income rider that we launched with back in January of 2014. It is straight guaranteed. It's got a really unique design with its Keep the Difference feature as well as its doubling feature after 10 years of deferral. And the new one that we'll be talking about is the Lifetime Income Plus Multiplier. So when we look at our industry, we have a little saying around our office that we oftentimes refer to as GPA, Guaranteed Performance-Based and Accumulation. We were covering the guaranteed and the accumulation, and now we have the performance-based with the new income rider that we're talking about. So let's briefly talk to you about the guarantee product before we get into the new one. It's very simple. 6.5% simple interest for the first 10 contract years. If your client chooses not to touch that for the 10-year term of the contract, the initial premium plus the bonus is guaranteed to double, giving them a larger income base, and I'll show you an example of that here in a second, and giving them the opportunity for higher income for life. Now, basically what the insurance company is saying here is if you're allowing us to defer your money for a 10-year time frame, we're going to reward you by doubling that income base and giving you more income for life. Now, the key portion of the Lifetime Income Plus is it's all guaranteed. So none of it has anything to do with performance-based. So as we look at this, the other key feature that we seem to be gaining a lot of traction on and getting a lot of attention over is our Keep the Difference feature. One of the things that we look at from a product design standpoint is if we have a 6.5% simple interest income credit and we're telling the client that you get that for 10 years, generally speaking, industry-wide with other carriers, what happens when you turn on that income rider is you stop getting credits. With our Keep the Difference feature, you get 6.5 for the first 10 years of the contract. The example we're showing here is a 65-year-old taking income. At age 65, the payout factor of 5% means that they didn't use 1.5% of that. So they're going to get a 1.5% income credit to their income base, giving them a guaranteed rise in income for the first 10 years of that contract. Pretty unique, pretty different. Nobody else in the industry has it. In addition, I talked to you briefly about the doubling feature, which only applies to the guaranteed product. This is an example of $100,000 in premium. We receive a 5% premium bonus, therefore no withdrawals are taken in the 10-year term of the contract, and that income-based number becomes $210,000, giving them $10,500 guaranteed for life. Again, one thing I'll point out here, this is equivalent to 10.5% withdrawal from their original premium, which is a pretty solid story to tell. It's something that's extremely competitive in our industry. Just want to briefly talk to you about our payout factors going down to age 50. As you can see there, where we get extremely competitive is at the retirement age. We understand that individuals that you're meeting with, talking with, age 65 is a pretty common age for retirement. At 5%, we're very competitive industry-wide. You take into consideration the Keep the Difference feature, and what we found from a competitive standpoint is if you're taking income in the first couple years, there is no other carrier in the industry that's going to beat us from that guaranteed income standpoint. Now, what we have to pay attention to is there will be a few other carriers that may start higher than us, but because of our Keep the Difference feature, generally speaking, there's always those certain situations that seem awkward or weird where we catch one, but we're going to always grow more to a higher number and then ultimately provide more cumulative income throughout the retirement. So just a quick case study on a 60-year-old wanting to retire in 5 years, show you a bunch of graphs here, but talk about the increasing income and the Lifetime Income Plus. John, let me know, can you see my mouse moving along here?
Yep, I can.
Okay, perfect. So for the first 5 years of deferral, we're giving them 6.5% simple interest. At age 65, Jane here decides to turn on her income. She has a 5% payout factor. What's going to happen in this situation, in this scenario, is for the next 5 years, she's going to get a 1.5% credit to her income base, ultimately increasing her lifetime income to $7,350 for life. Pretty unique. Generally speaking, at age 65, I don't think we show the number here, but that number is somewhere in the 6,000 range, 6,200, 6,300. The highest competitor in the industry is somewhere around 6,900 to maybe 7,000, but as you can see, our number ultimately grows to the 7,350, and that number is guaranteed for life. Pretty unique, pretty different. I wanted to briefly go through that because we have an extremely competitive guaranteed product. As John alluded to earlier, though, what we want to spend a little bit more of our time on is our Lifetime Income Plus multiplier. John, one thing I will add, if for those individuals on the line who I know are in listen-only mode, if you have a question, please type it in, and John and I can try and answer it at the end of this. So if something comes up, just let us know in the chat option. In addition to that, ultimately what we would like for you to do is call with that client that you have in mind so we can run a couple illustrations at IMES for you. But with that being said, I'm going to move into the Lifetime Income Plus multiplier. As I mentioned with our GPA reference that we use around our office here, performance-based income is an extremely large part of our industry today, and we knew that we had to have something that was extremely competitive in order to compete with the rest of the industry out there. We're on the brink of a $50 billion industry, and this is a big portion of it. So we'll talk briefly about this Lifetime Income Plus multiplier. It's very simple. All performance-based, you have a 250% multiplier during the deferral years. If no withdrawals are taken, whatever your interest credit is, you get a 250% multiplier applied to that for income purposes. Now, another thing that we knew was extremely important to the agent and the client as well is, why are we not taking advantage of the designs of these index crediting strategies during the payout factor, during the payout phase? So once you turn on income, your multiplier goes to the adjusted multiplier of 150%. And I've got a couple examples I'll show you here, but The simplest part of this is you get 250% of your interest credit during the deferral phase for income purposes, and once you turn on that income, you get 150% of the adjusted multiplier. Just like the guaranteed product, you take out your withdrawal factor, but it gives you the ability for an inflation hedge, if you will. It gives you ability for an equity hedge because we're taking advantage of the designs that we've created with these crediting strategies. You know, unfortunately, what happens in most cases is we see these new products that come out with these crazy new crediting strategies, and ultimately, research will tell you that income riders are being turned on in 2 years and 5 months. So we've got these great designs and these great engines, but as soon as we turn on that income, the engine stops. We have the ability to take advantage of an increase in income throughout the retirement phase with our adjusted multiplier. So again, real simply to help you understand how the multiplier works, what we have here is a interest credit rate of 4%. We're assuming a rate of return of 4%, whether that be on the S&P par rate, one of our Merrill strategies, whatever. For simplicity purposes, we're using a 4% interest credited rate. During the deferral stage, we have a 250% multiplier that applies. Therefore, 4% times 250, as you can see on the screen, we're getting a 10% annual income credit. So in this scenario, if we had $105,000 to start, we would add $10,500 to the income base, increasing it, putting us in a position where that income base can then grow the following year and continue to grow throughout the term of that deferral. So again, keep in mind, during the deferral stage, 250% multiplier. Once we turn on income, it goes to the adjusted multiplier of 150%. The example I'm showing you here is what happens when we start taking income, right? So we're assuming a 6% interest credit here, again, based on whatever crediting strategy you or the client elects. But 6% times 150 in the adjusted multiplier equals 9% in this specific example. At age 65, our payout is 5, so we take that away, but we still get a 4% credit to the income base. Okay, so using that same $105,000, we get roughly $4,100 credited to the income base. We now lock in a new income base, providing us with a guaranteed income for life based on that new higher number. So hopefully this is making sense. Ultimately, as I mentioned, and we'll mention a few more times, is what we need you to think of a case in which increasing income is something that the client is, looking for, something that you feel would fit that client, and have somebody at the IMS office run you an illustration. I think it's most important for you to look at something along those lines to help you understand exactly how it works. We want to take this time to get you excited about what we feel is one of the most competitive products in the industry, and then give you the ability to learn more through all the fine folks at IMS.
Hey, Jared.
Yes, go ahead.
Jared, I'd just like to add to let everyone know, you really do need to see this in illustrated form. It is really powerful. I've ran tons of illustrations this past week since it launched, and it's just unbelievable what that multiplier will do to the numbers. It's an amazing product. I'm very excited about it. So thanks. I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, thank you, John. And as John mentioned, we're extremely excited about it as well. We're only 8 days into our launch of this new multiplier, but we've seen a tremendous amount of buzz around it, and we expect that to continue. We're just going to take a quick look at a specific case, a 55-year-old wanting to retire in 10 years, looking to protect the retirement income. And again, the way we look at it with our GPA model and the things that we talk about here in our office, there's certainly going to be some clients that need straight guarantees and nothing more than guarantees, but we also have those individuals who are looking for some performance-based income, maybe a little bit more or a little bit less conservative, so to speak. And in addition to that, John, what we've seen a lot of success around is using both of the products, taking a portion of the client's assets and putting a guarantee on it, and then another portion giving them some performance base, giving them an opportunity to get a little bit more income throughout that retirement. In addition to that, with the equity inflation and taking advantage of the income rider and its features after you've started taking income is something new and something unique and something that not very many other carriers in the industry have. Again, there's a lot of information on the screen, so I'll try and go through it slowly and make sure everybody fully understands what we're looking at. From the very beginning, we get a 5% premium bonus. This is just showing examples with the multiplier of 7.5, and then a 10, and a 2.5, and 15, and essentially what can take place during the deferral stage of this process. As you see here, the same example that we talked about, a 10% credit to the income base, and then showing some zeros down here, so no credit. Obviously, that downside protection is what we love these products for the most. Here we turn on the multiplier. Here we turn on the income, so the adjusted multiplier will come into play. We're again just showing you some examples of what takes place and how that income base will always continue to increase when there's credits being applied towards it, whether it be with the multiplier or the adjusted multiplier. So you can see in this specific scenario over this time frame that it's grown, roughly from 105,000 to almost 200. And again, this is just for example purposes to help you all understand what takes place when there's a 3% credit. We take that times the 250 to give us a 7.5% credit to the income base. Then we get a 0, and then we get a 4 to give us the 10, so on and so forth. A 1 to give us the 2.5. You can see how it works specifically, and these are realistic numbers, but again, it's just for example purposes. And as John had alluded to, we want you all to take a look at an illustration and see if this is something that you can fit into your practice. So again, with Gary's retirement in this specific situation, at age 65, he decided to turn on income. Hypothetically speaking, again, this is performance-based income. That number was $8,794, and due to the adjusted multiplier, you can see in certain years he's going to jump up based on equity performance. So by age 75, he had started at $87.94 and grew over $1,000 to that $98.44. That number is locked in too. Keep in mind, all these numbers that you see here will ultimately lock in and will be his new guaranteed income for life based on that income base and based on the performance of the specific product. Again, payout factors are the same as our guarantee products, so starting at age 50 going all the way up to age 80, we get competitive in the 60 to 65 range at 5%. That's one of the tops in the industry, so we're excited about that. As we put these products, these income riders side by side, one thing I'll point out too, John, I think it's important for people to know the Power Select Plus Income is the product that we're referring to. You have an option of selecting the Lifetime Income Plus, which is our guaranteed income rider, or the Lifetime Income Plus multiplier. So it's the same product with different income rider chassis on it, and we'll talk briefly on this page a little bit about the difference. Guarantees, obviously, with the rising income is something for the more conservative individuals and the clients who know exactly what they need to have. The Lifetime Income Plus multiplier gives them potential, rising income throughout the term of the contract. Income credit multiplier, as we talked about. Opportunity for double only applies to the guaranteed product. Now, the income credit period on the guaranteed product is 10 years, as I had mentioned to you earlier, at 6.5% simple. With the new income credit period on the Lifetime Income Plus multiplier, it goes up to age 95 or whenever the contract value equals 0. So we will continue to get growth, whether it's through the multiplier or the adjusted multiplier, until the contract value equals 0. At that point, we lock in our income for life, and that number is guaranteed to be there for as long as that client lives. So a few additional product details. Free withdrawals of 10% in all of our products. I will tell you, though, the products that have income riders, it will affect it on a pro rata basis. It is not designed to take free withdrawals. However, they are available. I would suggest not putting a client into this product if there's a 10% free withdrawal need, but we do have our builder product, which is extremely competitive for those types of scenarios for accumulation basis. The income product, the Power Select Plus Income, is truly designed for those individuals who want to put a portion of their assets there to provide them with guaranteed income for life or performance-based income, which then becomes guaranteed income for life as well. Terminal illness, extended care, and activities of daily living rider says that if your client falls within any 3 of these categories, they receive the full accumulated value in a lump sum on both of our products. Again, one thing I want to point out, ours is a true design of an index annuity. Withdrawal charges apply to all index annuities. What you have to pay attention to as an agent, as an advisor, is what do those surrender charges look like? Ours is 109876 all the way on down. That's a better design for the client. If you see a product out there that has 10% surrender charges for 3, 4, 5 years and then it slowly goes down, That certainly helps in the pricing of that product, but it's definitely detrimental to the client. We're trying to give them options, capabilities to do what it is that they want, and we like the fact that we design it this way. It makes it a little bit more clean, a little bit more client friendly, so to speak. Premium requirements are $25,000 to start. Anything over $1 million requires home office approval. Our issue age is up to age 78 on the builder, and from 50 to 78 on the Power Select Plus income with both of the income riders. Talk briefly about the premium enhancement. There is a recapture on the premium bonus. Applies upon annuitization, surrender, or death in the first 10 contract years. It's always important for me to point that out. So again, to wrap it up, to sum it up, what we've done at Market Synergy is, again, using our term here, GPA, we've designed a product that has great guarantees. We've designed an income rider with performance base, because that's a huge part of our business and a huge part of what the index annuity world is going towards. And we've got a great product for accumulation, and we're doing it with an A+ rated carrier. I will tell you that the Power Select series that we are talking about here, the Builder and the Lifetime Income Plus, is a proprietary product through Market Synergy Group. IMES is one of a handful or a couple handfuls of organizations that have access to it. We feel that's a better business model. We wanted to work with the organizations in our industry that we feel most comfortable working with, so this is an exclusive and proprietary product through those organizations with an A+ rated carrier, and AIG, the largest insurance company in the world. So it's great to have a relationship with an organization like that. They're incredible to work with. What I will suggest and what I would ask each and every one of you is please, please, please call your marketer at IMES, call John at IMES. Give us an opportunity to show you the power of this new Lifetime Income Plus multiplier and what it can do for your clients. Where I find it, the question I get so many times, John, is where is the best fit for this product? In my opinion, it's in the first 30 days, because we have the ability to turn on income in 30 days up to 5 years is where it's most competitive. We can't seem to find any other product in the industry that competes with us, because when we're turning on that income early, we're going to be close to where everybody else is. But with having the ability of the adjusted multiplier and the increasing income throughout the payout factor time frame, it puts us in a position where we seem to be in a better spot than any of our competitors. Now, every product is well designed. I'll say we've got a pretty incredible industry, but we feel like with this increasing income option, our performance-based income rider is pretty special, and we've got something going that's pretty solid right now. So again, please give us an opportunity. Call your marketer at IMES. Give them an opportunity to run you an illustration and take a look at what we have here. And thank you all for everything that you've done for us so far, and we look forward to an unbelievable 2016. John, if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah, it looks like I appreciate that presentation, Jared. It's very thorough. We do have some questions here, a few, and we'll kind of go over that. And let's see, the first one, Jared, was from Tom, and he had a question. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and launch a poll here real quick for any of you out there that is interested in contracting with AIG. Please go ahead and answer yes. No is fine, but obviously we prefer yes. And I'll leave this up for a minute or so. And first question from Tom, Jared, is he's asking about the 2-year Merrill Lynch Strategic Balance Index 2-year point-to-point. When will that be available in New Jersey?
It is filed in New Jersey. Ironically enough, it's one of the very few states that don't really care much for the 2-year crediting strategies. So it is filed. I cannot answer that for you, Tom, unfortunately. I know the 1-year strategy is available. Unfortunately, our new participation rate is not available in New Jersey as well. The crazy part about that is it was approved in 47 states, but New Jersey and Pennsylvania are 2 that have not approved it yet. My guess, my expectation is the S&P PAR strategy will be approved. For whatever reason, the state of New Jersey doesn't care for crediting strategies that are longer than 1 year. At least that's what we found. I can tell you that it's filed. They continue to work with them to try and get it done, but I cannot tell you a date in which that would take place.
All right. Let's see, another question. Does AIG have any media ads approved that can be put in the newspaper on the 6.5% interest guaranteed, so the Lifetime Income Plus rider?
I've never had that question come up to where they were looking specifically for a newspaper ad. But if you have an ad that you would like to run, we can certainly get it to the folks at IMES, and we can submit it for compliance approval. As you guys are all aware, there's scrutiny around our industry, so there's a lot of disclosures which are necessary that go with that. But we have not created, or AIG has not created, any newspaper ads, so to speak. But anything is possible, I guess I should say.
Sure.
So if you have some ideas and want to work with the people at IMES, we'd be happy to submit it for review and see if that is something that we could get out there.
And just to add, it will go through a thorough compliance review. So do expect a little bit of more of a time frame in there. So if you're going to plan to want to run some ads, definitely keep in mind that AIG will thoroughly go through compliance on that, and it takes a little bit of time. The next question, does the Merrill Lynch Strategic Balanced Index have a bond mix too?
It does not have a bond mix. Now, I think people get a little bit confused with that. The ML Strategic Balanced Index is a combination of S&P 500 and 10-year Treasury futures. So ultimately, the design is unique and different. Basically, what they do, and again, this is a playbook created by Merrill that we don't have the ability to look into, but basically what they do is they weight it. There's a portion that goes into S&P 500, a portion that goes into the Treasury futures. And what Treasury futures are is they buy 3-month near maturity futures on the 10-year Treasury rate. Therefore, as we look at the 10-year Treasury today, it's somewhere around 225, 227. I haven't looked for an hour or so. But every 3 months, if interest rates are going to rise, we have the ability to take advantage of that rise in interest rates because we're trying to follow the 10-year Treasury rate with those futures as closely as possible. So it's not bond associated. And then in addition to that, they have a leveraging capability to where they can actually leverage and go negative into cash and put more into the crediting strategy. What I can tell you is right now it is weighted at 30% S&P, 70% Treasury futures. And then with the weighting capability, we can go up as high as 45% participation in S&P and 105 into the Treasury futures. But it's not bond. They're ultimately trying to follow the 10-year Treasury rate as closely as possible, which again gives us an advantage because if you think about the other products in the industry that are bond weighted, they lock into a rate once you purchase that contract. With ours in the Treasury futures, it gives you the ability to take advantage of that rise in interest rates, which we hope to see over the next 10 years, which is the term of the contracts.
Good answer. Thank you for that. I've got one more here, and for you that remember the poll. If you want to get contracting, I'll go ahead and close that out here shortly. But this Ron asks, is the contract separate from AIG Life products since it's exclusive? And I can answer that. Yes, this is a proprietary product. You do get appointed in addition to AIG on the life side, as well as the annuity side as well. If you want to add anything onto that.
Nope, that's exactly right. So to sell this product through the proprietary distribution, it is a separate agent number, separate contract. You will have to contract through IMES in order to do that. If you're currently contracted with AIG for either life or annuity, that contract number will not apply towards this specific product line.
All right. Well, I think that is all of the questions. Well, I want to thank everyone for attending. I do appreciate you taking your time out of your busy day. And I know with the holidays and everything, it's getting kind of crazy here. You have any last words, Jared?
No, I don't, man. I appreciate it as well. I know that everybody is busy. It's a kind of a close down time of the year, if you will, but I would suggest that you take a look at this, give us the opportunity, give IMES the opportunity. It's a very unique product. It's different than anything else that's out there, and it's extremely competitive with an A+ rated carrier. So thank you again for your time. And John, if any questions come up, please let them know to give you a call, and then you and I can work together to get those answered.
You bet. I appreciate it. And everyone have a great holiday if I don't talk to you beforehand. And please feel free, like Jared said, give me a call at 800-255-5055. We'll run some illustrations for you, and that's really where you can see the power of this new multiplier product, as well as the great guarantee product too. And I do appreciate your time and look forward to speaking to you in the future. Thanks again.